Goldie. Earlier this semester, the Doll Art Center came to us asking for an idea for a game, which would help bring in new people and expose new people to their art center. And this game is a game that I created to help people of all ages look into the details of the paintings that are already there. So one of the things that they asked us to do was also to try and incorporate technology into this game. And I have done that by using an application as the basis for the game. And when you guys are ready, you will tap the app and you'll hit ready to start. So this is what's going to appear when you first open up your application. You're going to get this piece of an image. This piece of an image is just a part of a larger image, and you have to figure out which painting it comes from. This one is one that some of you actually may know, but let's say you've been looking around for a while and you cannot figure out what it belongs to. You look through where you think it goes, and you're stuck. If you're stuck, you will go ahead and hit the Give Me a Hint button, and it will tell you where the painting's from, the collection. In this collection, I have it titled as Famous Artists. And that will give you a chance to go around and try and figure out where it is within a smaller subsection. One thing about this game is that it can be used by all ages. It's not just something meant for adults, something meant for kids, it's meant for everyone. And that's one problem with games and with trying to get people into a place, is trying to make it appeal to all ages. And with this one, you don't have to be little to play, it's not really easy, but it's also not very difficult. And sometimes kids actually have the better eye for finding some of these things. So after you have your collection of famous artists, let's say you're still stuck and you're still wandering around and you've been spending like 10 minutes on this. You can click the Give Me a Hint button and it will pop up with another part of the painting. And I'm sure some of you might know what this painting is by now, but you look at it and you can go, okay, here's something else that you can look for. And then once you find it, you can go ahead and use a QR scanner on the phone, on the application, to scan next to the painting and say, I think I found it. And then once you have found it successfully, it will say the name of the painting, who the painting is by, and it will show you the painting itself. Underneath the painting will be information that is not necessarily available just by the painting, but it's additional information for you on the work of art, on the history, on the era. So you're getting more out of it than just finding it. You're learning something along the way too. One thing so since this game does not have necessarily a point system, it's hard to really have a winner, and instead, what I've decided to do is everybody who successfully completes the app, let's say 10 paintings or so, will get you've completed this app, or you've completed this game. And you can walk up to the front desk, they can print you out a certificate if you like, and that's more for the little kids, but anyone of any age can go ahead and get it. And they will take your picture next to something in the main lobby, whether you want it to be a statue, whether you want it to just be next to the artwork that's right in front of the entrance, and they'll give that to you. And every 2 weeks, they will have a drawing for 2 free passes to the doll. Now this also pushes towards the fact of bringing new people in, because you're not just going to want to bring yourself in twice, you're going to bring someone else in with you, most likely. So you're going to bring someone else in with you, and that's going to increase the people going into the doll and seeing the doll, whether it be for the first time or once again. And I think this game was really, really important because I think it doesn't take a lot, but you really learn more about the painting. And one thing that I really like about this game is that anyone can play it, anyone can use it, and it gives you something. It gives you a feeling of accomplishment once you figure it out. It also brings anyone into the center, and it gets people really involved in painting, which is something that's really lost these days. Because if you go back and you look at that first little image that you were given, and then you go back and you look at the final painting that you've been staring at for a while, do you now see that little thing, the little church that you may not have noticed before? Because when you first look at this painting, you see the mountain, and you see the moon. You miss a lot of what's in the background. I first got this idea when I was at the doll, and I was looking at a painting, and it had a bird. And if you looked a little bit closer at the painting, you noticed that there was a shoestring in the background. It wasn't anything significant, it was just kind of there, but it made you relate closer to the painting, because it made it seem more real. Because real things have things lying around. Real is making that connection, that personal connection from you to the piece. And that's a lot of what's being missed these days with youth, with even adults, missing that connection. We are so caught in on our devices that we miss a lot of looking around day to day. We miss looking at people in the eye and having a conversation with them. We miss looking at the sidewalk, like looking down the sidewalk as we're walking down the street. We're standing there texting away on our phones and not really looking at the world. And this gives us a way to think and really, really dig into the world that is right around us. So, while you may not notice this if you're just looking at a painting and thinking, you're just staring straight at the painting, but if you take another moment and you look at the details, you can really find something that's great. One other thing I'd like to add is that I would like the doll to also have some tablets available. So if someone who doesn't have an iPhone can still go in, you can still use this app and can still get the real experience without having to necessarily own an iPhone or something, a smartphone of some sort. So, thank you for your time today. And does anybody have any questions?
No, they don't. Very good. Give her a hand.